Hello, welcome back to From the BON, the Burnley podcast. This is the rapid reaction to Burnley 1, Cardiff City 2. A pretty miserable night in the Carabao Cup at Turf Moor. Darren Bentley and Justin Conley are here to quickly go over the highlights, if there were any, of that night. Daz, starting off with you. I mean, not a good one, was it?
No. I mean, there are motivational quotes lying around up at Barnfield, and they probably need one that says hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And that was it for me tonight. We just didn't, for an hour, we never, ever got near a Cardiff blue shirt. The amount of time they had on the ball, and that, to be fair, I thought they played really well, but if you give a professional outfit that much time on the ball, they're going to hurt you. And it was just lackadaisical from start to finish, wasn't it? Really, really sort of. It doesn't help by the atmosphere and the crowd and the lack of everything, really. But I think just depressed is the word after that. I think the inevitability of losing to a lower league team at home in the cup is becoming normality, isn't it?
It is, unfortunately. Yeah. I mean, I will give credit to Cardiff City. They didn't look like a League One side at all. And I thought played really well and wanted the win and got it. Justin, your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, well, I thought Cardiff were tidy enough, and but you know, we did like as Dad says, we just didn't play, did we? They were better than us in every department on the day, and you know, you just can't turn up and do that and expect to get anything out of a game. We upped the intensity a bit last 10 minutes when we were trying to, you know, force a penalty shootout, but. You know, why didn't we play like that for the rest of the game? It's just, you know, the big thing for me, though, is I don't understand. I've never understood this. Why approach the game like that? Why change 11 players? Why enter a competition and then not try and win it? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't feel like you're getting anything out of that game at all but negatives that could potentially impact, you know, our sort of form in the Premier League. You know, it's just crazy to me that we give them a chance. You know, surely a good cup run is worth, you know, worth fighting for.
Well, that's it, isn't it? I mean, we had this all the time with Daesh as well. You know, is it something, or do the modern managers just look at these things as a bit of a pain in the arse and like, let's just get them out of the way?
It's become the modern trend, hasn't it? There's a small number of clubs now in a league that probably don't think they're going to get relegated, probably aren't quite good enough for Europe, and therefore can give it a good go in these competitions.
Palace last year in the FA Cup, yeah.
The rest either have bigger priorities or bigger fish to fry. Justin says there about making 11 changes, and from a managerial point of view, he will argue that's about getting game time into legs of players who haven't played many games in case they're needed. The counter argument there is how many of them are going to walk into that Burnley side when they have to? Not many. And you can play bounce games behind closed doors and play 120-minute bounce games if you want to get legs. You're not
getting any fitness out of that game. That you wouldn't get from a training game. They performed as if it was a training game.
Correct. Just play a bounce.
And I'm thinking, you know, Foster could do with getting a few notches in his belt, couldn't he? Stick him in that game and let him, you know, do what he does best. You know, it saps confidence. It lowers the confidence of the fans. I just can't see. The only positive that I can think of coming out of that game is that we now know that Scott Parker is picking the right team for the Premier League. And that's it.
Yeah, but I mean, those players would probably turn around and say, if you put me into Saturday's team, I'll do a job. I mean, I'm sure if Fleming started instead of Foster, he'd do a good job. If Hannibal, we've seen him, he's done a decent job. Would Lucas Perez cope all right in the absence of Hartman? Probably. Bashir Humphreys would too. You know, they're not, it's not a bad lot. I think the problem is when you change all of them at once, whatever the message might be in the dressing room, the facts get through to the players that this is a second stream game. Therefore, we've not really that bothered about winning it, because if we're putting out 11 reserves, the message is louder than any words that Scott Parker can say.
And the motivation has to come from within. The motivation for the player has to come from in there. And if it's not there collectively or individually, you get performances like that.
Yeah, and they've got an opportunity though there, haven't they? They've got a chance to show what they can do.
No,
I don't think any of them. I mean, I thought Hannibal was okay in the first half. He went a little bit Hannibal in the second half, a bit sort of running around, getting annoyed. But I wasn't surprised that he was annoyed because he seemed to be the only one who was putting in the yards in that first half. But you've got all these players who have got an opportunity to show the manager what they can do. Marcus Edwards, it was a surprise that he hasn't featured much in the Premier League. He didn't show very much, did he? He didn't look like he was all that interested. He didn't look like he
yards. Yeah, doesn't cut hard yards.
He didn't look like he was fighting for a place in the first team, did he? I mean,
no.
Who did? Who did?
Fleming took his goal well, didn't he? Fleming took his goal well. I mean,
he did. And the argument is that those players, if they're going to come into the first team on a Saturday for a Premier League game, will all feel they deserve to be in there. Otherwise, they won't be in the game. But they have to show the intensity that they showed in the last 10 minutes, in the previous 80 minutes. And if you show that intensity, then you might have a chance. But if you don't, I mean, Marcus Edwards walked around that pitch for 85 minutes. A couple of lovely balls in there, don't get me wrong. But until the ball was within 5 yards of me, he didn't want to know, for me. And there was too many of them tonight. Too many.
Ugo Chukwu was strolling around a little bit as well, wasn't he? And managed to get himself booked on his return after getting suspended with a really daft challenge.
Yeah, it was disappointing to see that. Were there any performances there that were, stood out in any way, really? I mean, I'm clutching at straws saying that Fleming's finish was nice, and he was. But, Mike Trezor, we had a cameo and came on, and he did actually show quite a lot again, didn't he? But
he did more in 5 minutes than Edwards did in the previous 80. And I thought Humphries did okay. I like Humphries. I think he's got something about him. I thought he played well, particularly in the first half. I thought when a lot of them weren't. But we're clutching at straws a little bit after that, aren't we?
Yeah, I think it was a fitness exercise for a lot of them. Particularly like players coming back from injuries like Humphries. Twanzebe was a bit leaden-footed, wasn't he? He was a bit kind of... That was a weird incident when he lost his boot and played for about 5 minutes with just one boot on. That's strange, but yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anybody. Like I say, I thought Hannibal at least looked like he was interested in the game. But apart from that, it was very disappointing. A very disappointing effort level as much as anything else.
That's the frustrating bit, really, isn't it? You can sort of forgive if it's a reserve side, you can forgive the quality and the tactics not being the same as it would be for the regular first team. But why isn't the effort rate there? I mean, the other talking point really is it's the first chance we've had. Well, no, the second chance from the Derby game onwards to see Armando Broja leading the line for Burnley. We've described Florentino Luis as being as advertised. I rather fear Armando Broja is sort of confirming the sort of pre-signing feelings about him. Daz, what were your impressions of him tonight?
Yeah, I thought he was. I mean, Justin mentioned leaden-footed there, and he was certainly leaden-footed, I thought. I mean, the one chance he had in the first half as well, Jayden Anthony slots that in the bottom corner. He's got half the goal to aim at there, and he tries to smash it through the goalkeeper. No composure whatsoever in that, was there? He doesn't look like he's got a lot of pace about him, I didn't think. It just compounds what we thought all along, which is that we're going to struggle to score goals this year, aren't we? Because we all know what Foster's about. Broja was the great hope if he came in and he was going to score as a goal, but it doesn't look like he's going to do, does he, on that performance?
No, I mean, it's early days, but there weren't any signs there where you thought, ooh, just not really many glimpses of it. Justin, did you see anything that we didn't?
I thought he had one or two nice touches here and there. He made a chance for himself in that second half, didn't he? But you can see why he hasn't scored many goals in his career, and I think the sort of reputation he came with was somebody who's been a bit unlucky with injuries and somebody who has got the talent, but it just hasn't quite clicked for him yet. And they do say about strikers, don't they? If they worry if they're not getting chances. Well, he did have a couple of good chances in that game to score. His finishing wasn't good. Both of them went straight at the goalkeeper. So I don't know. I think he looked miles off the pace, really, more than anything else. Miles off the fitness level. That you can't play like that in the Premier League. You'll be left on the bus, before the game's even started. So I didn't see much to convince me that he's knocking on the door of the first team now. But there were one or two moments where I thought I can see that he might have a bit of quality, but I can also see why he hasn't quite made the cut elsewhere.
It's about their moments, isn't it, really? It's that opportunity there, bury that, and suddenly everyone's talking differently about him, and his confidence is completely different. But we did that on Saturday as well, didn't we? We got those little openings and then shot straight at the keeper.
Well, that first half in particular, we mentioned the Breuer chance. I mean, Fleming made a great chance for himself just before half-time, and as badly as we were in that first half, we could easily have gone in level at 2-2. And then you never know. It's a different game, of course. But what really riles me tonight is you just don't see the energy levels until it's too late in a game. You can't let a game go and then start running around like madmen. You've got to start with some intensity. Cardiff were pressing hard from minute 90.
You can only come away from that game thinking that the club's got exactly what they wanted out of it, which is to go out of the competition so they don't have to worry about it anymore. Which to me is the most disappointing element of it. If you want to win that game, you don't play that team, do you?
No, and I agree. And also, you don't take off Fleming for the young ginger-haired lad, Ellis, what's his name, with 5 minutes to go when you're pushing for a winner. You don't take off a centre-forward for a midfielder, an inexperienced midfielder.
No.
That was a signal that this doesn't really matter much. Which is a shame, really.
It's just the modern way managers go now, isn't it? Their eggs are in that Premier League basket and everything else is a bonus, and it's a toss of a coin whether you get through or not.
Yeah, but
plus, I think. Sorry, go on, Justin.
Oh no, I was just going to say, how does that impact on our Premier League season in a positive way? That's the question I'm asking. It doesn't, does it? Well, I mean, okay, we might have 3 or 4 fewer games, if we were to get to the final, but a good cup run, players that are playing in teams, in a team week in, week out, where their backs against the wall every game, they get a chance to play a team like this, who on paper they ought to be able to dominate and do well against. Surely that's a confidence builder. Surely scoring a few goals is good for the team. Surely getting through games like this is a positive builder for Premier League form. And you just sort of throw it all away and say, well, it doesn't matter, does it? I just don't understand it at all.
No, you're right. I mean, if we'd have won that game 4-1 with Lyle Foster scoring 2 and a couple of great assists for Jadon Anthony, confidence levels, doesn't matter to them that it's a League One side. They've gone out there as professionals, done their job and done well and scored a goal, and it can only help. You're absolutely right. But I think what is in the manager's mind now, it's been so established for so long that you do play your second string if you're a Premier League team in this situation, that if you're one of those fringe players, if you're one of those who's not even getting on the bench in the Premier League, and you don't get a start in the Carabao Cup, you're like, that's the ultimate snub then, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's become that established that they expect it, and they've got no other football. I mean, I know I'll sound like an old chap here, but I really do wonder why there isn't a proper reserve league now, especially with the size of the squads that everyone has. I mean, it'd be quite nice to go and watch a reserve team game every Tuesday like we used to do, at one time.
They prefer these bounce games now. They just prefer to play these bounce games that they arrange on private training grounds up and down the country midweeks. And that's how Darchi always did it, didn't he? With his players, he'd play a game midweek for the players who hadn't played on the Saturday. Now, we don't hear about that under Parker, but that's not saying it doesn't happen. I'd be surprised if they don't.
Yeah. Yeah, and I suppose, a lot of those reserve games might as well have been behind closed doors a lot of the time. When Central League games, there would be the Bob Lord stand would be open and there'd be a few hundred of us in there watching them. So, different times. But yeah, disappointing way to go out of the Carabao Cup. Let's hope the FA Cup offers a little bit more of a hint of a run or a bit of excitement or a bit of romance. We'll call that quits there. We'll be back again with you on Thursday night, Friday morning to preview the Clarets game against Manchester City at the weekend. Thanks very much, gents, for enduring that this evening and coming on. And until then, up the Clarets.